Hello everyone, Whit here with RDN, and I'm pleased to announce that RDN is now using the combination of the VIN, first name, and last name for violent flagging. Previously, you were only able to attach violent debtor to an address. Now we have a report violent button that you are able to utilize on the actual case page. Once you have confirmed that you have the correct debtor and VIN, you can click on the report violent button. The new violent flagging section will display. You will have the option to select the debtor or the cosigner. Then select the violence level. There are 3 levels. 1 is verbal threats, 2 is threatening behavior, and number 3 would be physical violence. Once you have selected your threat level, you will need to describe the incident in detail. Then click Report as Violent once you have added your detail. At the top of the case page, you will now see the violent flag banner flashing. This will display the level that was reported. You can view the full history by going to View Full History. This will take you to the history section of the case page, which will show the debtor violence history. Here you will find a complete log of reported events for this debtor, showing the date reported, the violence level, the reporter and their company, and any associated notes. You can change the level of violence at any time by going through the process again. Select the person, then select the violence level, maybe it's escalated, then describe the incident in detail. Then once again, click on Report as Violent. The violence banner will now display the new level of violence for the case. Click View Full History to see the new log for the violent debtor. Here we can see where it's reached threat level 2. When someone from outside of your company marks the case with violent, you will now see the updated violence banner displaying the level they marked it with. The violent flagging is also available on the agent side. Let's take a look at that. The violent debtor banner will be displayed at the top just like it is on the office side. This will display the level that was previously reported. Click View Full History to go to the Violent Debtor History section. Within the Violent Debtor History section, you'll find a complete log of reported events for this debtor, showing the date reported, the violence level, the reporter, and their company, and any associated notes. The agents will have the same process to report the debtor or cosigner as violent. They'll click on the Report Violence button, select the debtor or the cosigner, select the threat level, then they'll describe the incident in detail. Then they'll click Report as Violent. You will now see the updated violence banner. Under the Violent Debtor History section, you will now see the new log displayed. The violent flagging feature is also available in ClearPlan and the ClearPlan Plus app. If the VIN and debtor have already been marked as violent, you will see the violent debtor banner as seen here. On the details page, the violent debtor banner will display across the top of the page. We now display a button where the user will need to acknowledge that they have seen the violence warning. Click the Report as Violent on the left. Here, you'll mark the debtor or cosigner as violent by selecting the appropriate violence level, the target, whether it was the debtor or the cosigner, and adding a detailed description of the incident in the notes section. Click Report as Violent. Then confirm that you would like to report the debtor or cosigner as violent. Once you have clicked on the Report as Violent, this action will then transfer back to RDN, adding the violent debtor banner and logging it in the Violent Debtor History section of the RDN case page. Once you have reported a debtor as violent in ClearPlan, you will be able to see the logs under Violent Reports tab of the Details page. To track when your team acknowledges violence alerts, a new log is now available in the Reports section of ClearPlan. Click on Violence Alert Acknowledged. Here you will have the ability to select a date range. Now let's take a look at that app. On the ClearPlan app, when you open up an icon that has already been marked as violent, you will get a new pop-up that the user will need to acknowledge before moving forward. This acknowledgement will log on the website of ClearPlan under Reports. To mark a debtor or cosigner as violent, navigate to the Vehicle tab of the icon. Here, you can click Report as Violent. After selecting the button, the prompt for marking violence will appear. Here, you can select the violence level, add a detailed description, and select the target, whether or not it was the debtor or the cosigner, whichever is applicable. Once submitted, you will now see the Violent Debtor banner displayed within the icon. A new update will be created with the violence information. This can be found on the Updates tab within the icon. Similar to the website of ClearPlan, we have a new violence history section that is displayed within the Vehicle tab of an icon. Here you will be able to see all violence updates that have been made within ClearPlan or RDN. For any questions, please contact our support team or send us a chat.